Alright, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe, and today we're going to put on our Doug's headers. So hopefully with this I'll be able to give you my thoughts on how easy or difficult it was, the quality of the headers, and we'll do a quick unboxing and then I'll go through the process with you. So y'all hang out, it's going to be a good one. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, this is our 72 Roadrunner. It's currently got a 383 in it. And just to recap, it's got these HP exhaust manifolds, and they were actually cooking the paint off the valve cover. So these covers have been repainted, new gaskets. They are currently not leaking, which is a good thing. If you want to go see more on that, I got another video. But that's not what this is about. This is about our Doug's headers. So, and it says designed in USA. So, made in Mexico, designed in the US. Here's what they look like. I'll show you a little unboxing here. I've had these open once. In this box should be our collectors. So there's a gasket. Gasket looks pretty good. It says HTX 900 on it. So they're a little bit thicker, nicer looking gasket. It's got metal inside there. It doesn't have paper on both sides like a some of the cheaper, like a Summit gasket or a Mr. gasket 3-inch collector gasket would. And here's the actual collector, and it collects and reduces you down to 2.5. That's what we need for this car. So it goes from 3, smooth transition to 2.5. Sweet. Here's our bolts for the collector to the header flange, and bolts to hold the headers onto the engine. They also give you washers to go with these bolts. Keep them from backing out. That's a good idea. And that's basically it for that box. Alright, here's that header again. Tubes look good. Everything looks good. They're actually welded on the insides before they ceramic coat them. So all that looks good. Flange looks nice. That one says 12 of 20. I'm assuming that's the manufacturer date. And there's the part number D451. So they are welded on the inside, and then they put a strong weld on top and bottom. They feel like a pretty nice set of headers. Flange is welded all the way around the outside. Looks really good. If you look in the end, very nice. And yeah, they should be ready to go on. This is a 3-inch collector. I noticed on this one and the other one, this doesn't slide around like a cheap Headman or something like that. So that'll be exciting. I have for you real quick, I grabbed a very crispy 452 that's been unmolested. And I was just going to set a gasket on there so you can kind of see. So basically right up, just a little bit of overhang right here and here. It looks nice in the port. The two side ports look good. The gasket is over. So here and here we may want to trim just a little bit. It's almost nothing. I mean, it's not, if anything, I would say it's exactly even with that rather than hanging over. You could trim it if you want to, not a biggie. If these heads were extensively ported, you would have to open these gasket holes up quite a bit. But I just wanted to show you on a stock port head. And I believe that's what these headers are made for anyway, is a 383 or 400. So you might get a bigger tube with a different header. See what our paperwork says. Limited 1-year warranty. Here's one thing to note. Designed for B and RB original heads, casting 905 or 915. 75 and later heads may require flange modification. So in this car we actually have some 915s, so I'm not worried about it. I can slide this header onto the 452 and look. I've seen headers before that the flange itself actually hits the head bolt. So let's try that real quick. slid on the 452, which would be the later model head. I can't notice anything rubbing wrong, anything like that. If that had a very tall head bolt on it, maybe. Which this car has ARP, so I'll let you know if they rub or not in just a minute. It looks pretty good to me. Shouldn't be an issue. Doug's is a really good brand. I guess our next step will be go ahead and yank off these manifolds and get ready to throw on the headers. So we are back. I got the dipstick tube pulled. It was hooked to that motor mount bolt right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull the big bolt out of the motor mount on this side. It says to. I've done that before. And knock off from our center link. Throw a jack under the oil pan and give her a jack up, see what we can do. The pitman arm broken loose from the center link, pushed out of the way. Got a jack with a block on the bottom of the pan. I got both the motor mount bolts out. Got the idler arm out, and let this drop down. And Corby, can you jack it up a little bit for me?
More?
Yeah, come on up. Oh yeah.
Tell me when.
I can stop right there. That's about an inch. Let's see how she goes. I got one piston over here. I have an old header hole. Protected all over. Now, I'll put this up here. Starter's on, it looks good. I got the dipstick tube back in. It's got about an 1/8 inch between the tube and the dipstick tube and the header tube. I went ahead and unwrapped them. On this side, I did have to pull out the rear. I had a stud in the front and the back, and they did not want to slide on that way, so I pulled out the rear stud and kept the front stud. I believe their directions say to go ahead and take out all the studs, but it's nice to have one to hang on at least. Starter wires are ran. I'll get underneath and show you. But right now you can see this is a big block car. It's a 383. That's power steering. And between power steering and the center tubes, it looks over an inch. Same thing for the coupler there. That's, you know, I can stick my entire hand in to right there. So that's about an inch. I have not let the engine down yet. I know it's going to tighten those up just a little bit, but there's lots and lots and lots of space. So I think Doug has finally figured it out. On the starter, I'll get underneath and show you. It's a little bit tight for my liking. Alright, so here's the underside. Transmission lines are kind of out of the way. I had to put a little bend in those, but I think they were actually wrong. And I need to find a clip that'll connect them. Not a biggie. The starter, if you can see that distance, that's about an 1/8 of an inch. So a little bit tight, but I don't think it's a big deal because these headers are ceramic coated and they're very nice. That's some kind of mini starter. I'm not sure what brand it is. It didn't have a tag on it. There's our torsion bars. Plenty of clearance there. About a finger width clearance. So call that about a 3/8 of an inch right now. Everything fits nicely, looks good over here. I'm gonna throw that collector on later, but before I do that, I need to go ahead and put this other side on. So let me show you. Here's how much room we got over here from the bottom. Looks pretty wide open and nice. So I recommend go ahead and jacking up. If you can see how far that mount is up. You don't want to go much further than that, and I'll show you why. This car has a clutch fan, and it's currently touching the shroud because I have the engine jacked up about 1 inch. But if the engine went down 1 inch, it would be centered in the shroud nicely. So I think 1 inch is about all you need. I'll show you here in a minute after I put the plugs in this side how hard or easy that was, but I'm gonna go ahead. I hope y'all saw that. I went ahead and left the studs on this side because I tried to back the first one out and it was in there solid. I believe those are factory studs that have never been out. They were not leaking before on my exhaust manifold, so I left them to try them. I would give that side a 9 out of 10 for ease of installation. That stud, I'm gonna go ahead and start its washer and nut first. Be sure it's up on there good, then run all the rest of them up and do the tighten down. Be right back with you. All right, another issue with headers a lot of people are concerned about is spark plugs, how easy or difficult. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw these plugs back in and just show you. Alright, that side is done in under 3 minutes. Look at our other side. All of our plugs are in. Both sides. I got that done in about 6.5 minutes. So, not bad. They're in and tight. I'm going to pop underneath and show you in just a second what it looks like. I can go ahead and let our engine down. Alright, here's some of my final video underneath the car. It is jacks out from under it. We're all the way down. That header has got at least 1 inch, if not more, all the way around the torsion bar. Looks nice. Collector, same thing, smooth. I'll show you my exhaust here. This is the TTI system. Pretty straight shot right into that. It might need a little bit of curve, not a big deal. Let's check the other side. Miles and miles of room around a center link. I really think they got it. Doug seems to have it figured out. There's the closest that tube gets to the block here. That's probably a little over 1 inch. I'm gonna try to hop up there, hook up my battery cable, wires, fill it back up with water, and maybe we get to hear this thing run by the end of the day. All right, let's talk about final thoughts. As far as I can tell, these headers look and sound great. This engine is just a Magnum 383, pretty very mild cam. Notice I switched the straight boot from back here to there, just to give it a little more clearance. The other boots are all 90s. They look to have plenty of room. I haven't ran it long enough for the carb to warm up and it idle down and all that. If you're interested in this build, I've got several more videos on it on my channel.